The thing just circling and it's still circling. Oh shit, we live. Yo, we are live. What up? Yo, this is first off, Lexus Bree. I want to shout you out for coming on. Big ups. It's gonna be fire tonight. What you want to tell the people? What you want to start off with? What you want to tell them to start off with? A good word, because you are the self-help guru of Instagram. Yeah, you a guru. That's right. Own it.
Man,
Yeah, start them off for something good.
I don't wanna get too deep into it, but I'm gonna say, man, heal y'all issues, man.
Word.
Heal y'all issues.
Definitely hear the issues. I love that. It's because everybody got them, and we all need to work on healing them things. Because I didn't heal most of mine. I got some, but we ain't gonna get into that. And whoever's in here watching right now, leave a comment, man, so we can know who it is. Because I can't see it right now. This is all new to me, man. So as y'all come in, leave a comment on the screen, and then I'll share it to the screen if you want that. But if not, that's all good too. But so heal. I like that. That's a good way to start. This Friday Night Live, man. So what did your week look like? So we talking about Friday Night Live could be anything we want it to be, and it's all about us right now. So what exactly? How'd your week go? Talk about that if you want to.
My week was busy, man. Oh my goodness, it was busy. I had a lot this because it's like in the school year. So with my daughter, I got her all in the school programs and graduations and all
Right.
types of stuff. Too much for me.
Right.
Too much for me. So
It's a lot.
that's it. I can't wait till the new school year comes in because that's it.
Well, I mean, you can wait for the new school year. To whoever just jumped in here, peace, love to you. I see you here. Shout us out, put something in the comments, and I'll shout you right back out. But Lex Bree talking about her week. I'm about to get into mine, Lex. So I think you should tell the viewers how old your daughter is, because they would be confused. Because I know how old she is, but I want them to know so they can have an idea. Because I'm thinking you got somebody like you got a 15, 16-year-old. Tell them how old you is.
No,
You said graduating.
yeah, but kids still graduate. Different grades they graduate. But my daughter's only 4. But that's the part. That's the part that's so stressful about it. Like she only
wait, what the Lex? How the hell is a 4-year-old graduation stressful? You got to break that down.
I'm gonna tell you because first of all, she's only 4. We don't have to do all of this. She just going to kindergarten. This ain't no big deal, but they did like a whole ceremony. They gotta sit down. They gotta sit down in the chairs. They calling their names. Come get the paper. And you gotta do why we gotta do all of this? They only going to kindergarten. This ain't high school graduation.
Ain't even middle school. Ain't even elementary school, man. Like, that ain't even lower school. Like, what do you call that? That's not even
that's why it's stressing me out, because why I gotta do all of this? Like,
so break down so did the graduation occur yet?
It did, and that was I'm sorry to say, it was very ghetto.
It was ghetto? Oh man, we got 17 viewers. Yo, matter of fact, if y'all watching right now, shout out to you. Because this is fine. This is my first time on live. Sorry, Lex, I had to cut you because now we had 16 viewers. Somebody left. So whoever left, man, you missing out because it's about to get crazy. So you got a 4-year-old graduation, and you said what? Go tell.
It was outside. And do you know how hot it was today?
It was today?
Yeah, and it was outside.
That's why your hair curly, because you probably done sweat out your hair. I know how y'all get about your hair.
They done lost their mind having us outside in that heat with them kids. Just send them to kindergarten and just forget it. Like, just forget it.
I ain't mad. I don't miss it. I don't miss that kindergarten, that 4-year-old graduation stuff. I'm not a fan, but it was a beautiful time. But I'm glad to say my kids is old. So my son just graduated college. So I'm like, man, we on the total different ends of the spectrum. Yeah. Shout out to, matter of fact, hold on. Could y'all hear that? I'm blasting it off right now. And I got to do a delayed blast off for your daughter graduating. What exactly do they call that graduation when the 4-year-old graduates? Is it a lower school, baby school?
Pre-K.
Pre-K. Oh, she graduated in pre-K, y'all. Give it up for y'all should leave congratulations shouts in the comments, man. Because I would love to see y'all congratulating Lexus Bree's daughter for graduating pre-K. And shout out to the school because they got you. They probably got you with that. When she gonna graduate. It's gonna be real nice. And now you out there in the heat struggling. It was 90 degrees today.
Struggling.
Yeah, word. That's crazy. But other than that, how was the week though?
It was good. I can't complain.
Good. I'm glad to hear it, man. I'm glad your week well. So my week was a little crazy too, man. You know what I mean? We starting off Friday Night Live with how our weeks are. Oh, somebody just sent us a heart. Whoever did that, salute to you, man. I appreciate it. Right back at you. We love you too. Whoever it is, because I can't see, because this whole streaming thing is all new to me, man. But my week was crazy, dog. Like it was, I don't know if I didn't tell a lot of people, y'all gonna get exclusive information on this live. I quit my job because I got a TV job, right? Boom. I thought I was going to be blown up. I had a TV gig. They said I was going to start on a certain day, gave me an offer letter, and then it turned out that job was reneged. So I ended up quitting my day job, and then I had to look. I had to look for another job. Shout out to my new employer. I ain't going to say who that is. Oh, we got 2 hearts now. All right, man, right back at you. And a like. I don't even know how to do a like. You know what I mean? This look like a like. No, that's like a loser. Oh, thumbs up. Yeah, thumbs up. See, that's why you around, Lex. But it's been a crazy time for me, man. It's been a good week. But I want to start off by saying something that, I had this gig and it was TV gig. I was going to be going to New York 5 days a week. It's going to be super exciting. And I thought I made it. I felt like, I made it. This is about to be it. But then it fell through. And once it fell through, I ain't gonna lie, for a couple of weeks, I was down and out. I was like, I was hit. But during this time, I still was posting on social media. So a lot of people may have seen me posting like every day, like, yo, this dude usually don't post 3-4 times a day. That's why I was posting 3-4 times a day, because I was home and I wasn't doing shit. So I said, I might as well.
You should, though. That's a good use of time.
Right. Thank you. And at the time I was down, but I pushed myself to keep doing something, and I did. And in that time, now I'm officially monetized on Facebook. Shout out for that. Yeah, crazy, right? Who would have thought?
Yeah, see? I'm telling you.
A good hard month doing that. And then now I have a job that's going to allow me to continue doing this online thing, which is something I didn't want to do. So for those people out there, anybody that's watching, if you are going through a hard time, this is my mantra that has got me through a rough time. All your obstacles will lead you in the right direction. That's what I tell myself. Every obstacle that comes is going to lead me to something better. And so far, so good, man. So check with me next week, though, after I start the job, because it might be some bullshit. But right now, it's an exciting time, man. All good.
Oh, no, all right, man. I feel that for sure, man. I could go into details about that, because woo. But I'm gonna leave people waiting for my story. I'm gonna leave them waiting for my story, because I got a similar story, but I gotta wait.
Oh, we're gonna let. Oh, all right. So you in the midst of it right now. Hold on. We got a hello shout from Irmir. If I'm saying your name wrong, I apologize. But thank you for watching. We locked in with you. If you could put a comment in there and tell us where you at, that would be even doper. I would greatly appreciate that. But
tell us where y'all watching from.
Right, tune, man. Look, let us know where y'all at, man. Because I know we both in Jersey. We both in different ends of Jersey. Well, I'm in the middle, she at the top, but same difference, man. And we got Erica coming on in a second, so she's gonna be in another area. But whatever the case, this week, what we starting our conversation off about this week, Lex? Because you're a relationship expert. You coach people online. You got a lot of things going on. What do you want to start this conversation on? Where you feel like it needs to start? What's the foundation of our conversation for the evening?
Ooh, you know what? I really did want to touch on like mental health. I really did.
Ooh,
I really did. I did want to touch on that.
I love that.
I feel like that's really important for everybody.
Right. It definitely is. And while you say it, man, I'm going to click on a little link here, because it's right now. June is Men's Mental Health Month. So you start the conversation off. We could jump in. Anybody out there, if you want to add to the conversation, please throw something in the comments, and we will talk about whatever it is you bringing up in the comments. All right, but go ahead. Like you starting off with the mental health.
Yeah, I'll say this. I know it's men's mental health, so I'll try to stick with the men's side. But
you don't gotta do that. Just mental health in general.
Yeah, but mental health for everyone. But I really do think it's important for men, right? And it kind of brings up that topic and the question mark of, well, how can we get men to be more comfortable with speaking and with their mental health? Because as we see right now, it's kind of popular in society that like men shouldn't be expressing themselves in a certain way. They shouldn't be even like moving or dancing in a certain way. Like men can't even like do a little dance without people judging them. So it's like,
man, terrible.
I don't like this is so it's like, how do we get from that negative perception of men and their mental health to so they can be in a positive and comfortable space to be able to express that? Because as we know, men have a really higher rate of suicide and like mental illnesses. So
that's right.
Like this is not something to be playing with if we're saying we care about our men and we care about our society.
That's right. And me as a man, like I'll give my story, and anybody that hears it and wants to add on their experience, please do throw it in the comment section. But for me, I was somebody that I went through a lot of trauma as a kid. You know what I mean? I was molested as a child. Luckily, I'm healed from that. So that was something I went through. But in my mid-20s, I was going through it. So, it's mental health is something I didn't think about. I didn't want to go see a therapist. I was just like, I'm gonna read some books, and I was good. And if my wife was here now, she'll tell you like that's all they try to do. He was just trying to read books and fix himself. But mental health, man, it ain't something you can really fix on your own, and especially depending on the level of mental health issue you may have. Because me, I feel like it was PTSD and not processing it at the time. But after going through therapy, I learned a whole bunch of tools, and therapy for me was therapeutic, as it should be. Hopefully it's therapeutic for everybody, but going through certain things, it pretty much just gives you a map on how to handle things and how to deal with things. But in society, generally speaking, it's not embraced for a man, especially, to be open with their feelings. And I say this even for a woman, like sometimes I feel women get a negative connotation when they express themselves in a certain way. They let out emotion and they get condemned for it, right? Like a lot of people at work. I don't know about you, Lex. My wife talks about it. Many other women in my life talk about that. They go to work and they'll express how they feel in a certain way, and people will look at them in a certain way because of how they express themselves. And that's a part of mental health too, I think.
It is. And that's the thing that I find so funny about mental health, right? We all go through it. We just go through it in just slightly different ways. But but for some reason we try to put like this border up between us, like it's different, like it's differences, but it's really not. Because it could be I'll be vulnerable and personal here. One thing that I struggle with a lot, that I know a lot of women can vouch for, is just the mental health of being a mom, right? Because in that space, it's like you can't really win as a woman, right? It's like on one side, it's like people are telling you have to be a certain mother, you have to do things a certain way. But then if you complain about it, it's like, well, why are you complaining about it? You're a mother. You chose to be a mother. You're supposed to do this. And it's like, well, dang, like I know I'm supposed to do it, but like nobody want to hear that. Like I'm just going through a rough time right now.
Right.
Like nobody cares about that. Like I just got to shut up.
Right. It's not a lot of empathy out there for mental health, and like anything really. Like I feel like personally, it's not a lot of empathy in the world in general. Like everything going on, people don't put themselves in other people's shoes, and I feel like I do that too much. I'm always put myself in somebody else's shoes. Like, oh man, dang, I feel you. Even if I don't, I try to be a safe space for them to get off whatever they feeling, whatever's on their chest. You know what I'm saying? But like for women, like being a mother, being a parent, being a partner, everything we do in life, I feel like it ties in with mental health some kind of way. And if your support system isn't right, that mental health it's a slippery slope. You could be fine one day, next 2 minutes you out on the ground having an episode. And I think we need to normalize that, make it where people, it's all right to understand you're gonna go through some shit, Everybody gonna go through some shit, and try to be there for the people around you, and find tools that work for you. Like that's what I learned in therapy. Like that was pretty much it in a nutshell. Figure out what works for me. And so you was talking about being a mother and the challenges and that. What are some challenges, and how are some ways you get through those challenges?
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. It depends on the level of what I'm going through, because you know you got different levels. Like some days you're okay, some days you're totally depressed. Other days you're not even thinking about it. You're fine, you're happy. But I will be honest, and this is not, I don't condone nobody to do things the way I do it, because it might not be 100% right. But I would be honest, on those days when I'm feeling like really low, like in my mental health, I'm one of those people, baby. I gotta cut the whole world off.
You cutting everybody.
I gotta cut everybody off. I have to cut everybody off. I have to cut off.
I love that.
I have to cut off everybody and just be in my own little bubble, so I can just get in my own space and get back to my own, my own grounding level. Because sometimes when you're going through such a depressed state, it will overwhelm you even more, that you have so many people around you, or you have to deal with so many other things. So I don't, when I'm in that stage, I don't want to hear, well, why you didn't call me, or why you didn't do this, or why you didn't. I don't want to hear that when I'm going through my mental. I don't want to hear that when I'm going through my mental stuff. So for me to avoid that, I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I cut everybody off. And I just get back in my zone, and I tell, and I'm now being aware that I have to communicate that with people, because I'm not gonna lie, at one point I'll just cut everybody off and I won't say nothing. I'll go ghost.
Everything is so wrong.
Yeah,
what I don't even know it's
yeah, but now I learned, like, okay, you can't just do that to people. Like, you gotta give a warning. So I'll give my little warning, like, hey, it might be a day or two or so that I'm just not gonna talk. I need to go through my own things, because I'm going through this, and I'll holler at you when I holler at you. And when I do that, I might go for a walk to clear my mind. I might take like a nice long bath. I might go work out. Or even to the extreme of, baby, I'll go sit in my car and cry for an hour. Okay.
Listen, man.
Look, you gotta do what you gotta do to get those emotions out, and whatever works for you. So I think that's the key thing about something that you said. Like, you really just have to figure out what works for you, what de-stresses you, what's gonna help you cope with what you're going through.
That's right.
Because nobody can really figure that out but you until you try different things.
Right. Because I've seen a lot of people like, I've had a conversation I have a bunch of conversations, but one of the conversations I always end up running into is people that use alcohol, drugs to cope. You know what I mean? Because you figure everybody's going out every weekend. They drinking, they smoking, they even just going out is a way of coping. Just getting out, being around other people, getting your mind off what you're going through. And, for some people that don't go out, a lot of people are in the house, you know what I mean? That won't work for them. Maybe they're not that social. Maybe they don't want to go out. Maybe they don't want to drink every weekend. Maybe they got a job that they can't drink every weekend. So the challenge for anybody out there that's trying to really get through a hard time is to figure out how you cope. How do you cope in a healthy way, I should say.
Yeah.
A lot of people find ways to cope. For me personally, now it's gym. Like, I go to the gym literally Monday through Thursday every week. And if you y'all can't really see me, I don't look diesel. Like, if you see my full body, you would see I'm not the dude that looked like he go to the gym 4 days a week, every week for the last 6 years. But I go for my mental health. I tell people when I'm there, like, yo, bro, I put on my headphones. I'll get on the bike some days, have my eyes closed, pull my hood down. And I had a rough couple years. Like, within the last 3 years, I lost my mother-in-law and I lost my dad. And I would be in that gym crying. But my hoodie would be zipped all the way up. My hat would be down. You couldn't see nothing. But I felt better when I left. You know what I mean? Like, that's one of the rare, in my opinion, one of the rare places you go. If you go to the gym, you go there, even if you get a shitty workout in, you could be there 10 minutes. At least I came. I always feel better when I leave than when I got there. So for me, that's a huge way. You said you like it too. You going for a walk?
I do, but I'm not gonna lie. everybody got their own different ways, and I ain't gonna lie, depending on what I'm going through, I'm one of them boo-hoo criers, baby. So I can't be in the gym for too long because I'm good. Like, and then I'm light skinned, y'all. So y'all know y'all gonna see it on my face in a heartbeat. You're gonna
whole
see the
face red.
Yeah, you're gonna see the whole red, and so like once I get to that point, I'll be like, all right, I have to leave. But I think that's the thing with the coping is that you have to find out what's that balance, right? Because you want to be able to cope with it, but also you want to be able to balance it out, right? Because I know don't y'all come at me for saying this, but I'm gonna be real with y'all.
Keep it
I don't know about y'all, but I'm an overthinker. So that on top of mental health alone, just going through life's things is a crazy combination. All right. So just to cope with my overthinking sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I have a little smoke or drink here. Okay.
Hey, man, ain't nothing wrong with it. Give it up for a smoke or a drink.
Hello. And there's nothing wrong with that. But here's the thing that's wrong with that, right? It becomes the wrong thing when you realize you're doing it to avoid what you're going through. If you're doing it to avoid what you're going through and to just totally ignore it, that might not be the coping mechanism for you. Okay. Now, if you do it just to mellow you out, just to bring you back to a good place so you can think clearly, just so you can deal with it, then yes. But we're not doing that all weekend, every day long. And then next thing you know, it's right back on your mind. That's not what that's for.
Right.
That might just, okay, that's not what that's for. So y'all need to find y'all balance. Okay.
Absolutely. Like that's the key, man. Like and talking about mental health, and I don't know how a lot of y'all grew up. I don't know how you exactly grew up, Bree, but I know I grew up. It wasn't something that was like a normal thing. We had we didn't have on that. We didn't have like, how are you feeling? And they really care how you feeling. It was when the dishes wasn't washed, they didn't give a fuck why the dishes wasn't washed. They was worried about why the dishes wasn't washed. Not, I had a bad day at school. I might have got, like, I ain't really get teased off, and I was cool, I guess, whatever. But I never, like, a lot of kids come home and they may have that issue. A lot of people may come home and they dealing with boss stuff and stuff. Like, life is hard, and people, it's not said enough. Life ain't easy, bro. Unless, like, everybody's going through it. I have a friend that's rich, and we had these conversations, and I say, yo, bro, like, you rich, you ain't got no, like, I didn't say you don't have no problems, but in my mind, your problems are easier than my problems. And then he breaking down to me like, bro, where you live now, you could be like, I could be poor, and it'd be easier for me to be poor than it is for a rich person to be poor. It ain't really hit me, but it hit me like, damn. Yeah. Like, I could literally go to a smaller crib, wouldn't be that big a deal. If there's certain levels to things, but if you're at a high level where you got a huge home and all these different things and that you have access to, and you come down off that would be a hard adjustment. So the stress level of staying at that level it's a lot more than the stress level I have, or maybe you have, in staying at where we at. And that resonated with me. And I think that's something that it's not about money. It's not about none of that other stuff. Your mental health is in being at peace with yourself is priceless, because you can have $1 million and $1, but if you don't have peace of mind and peace in your heart and good environment to live in, you're not gonna flourish regardless of how much money you have.
At all.
At
all. It's really important. So I just encourage everyone to I know it's hard, but you have to have somebody that you can talk to. You have to have somebody. I don't care if it's a family member, a friend, a dog, a cat. Talk to somebody, because it's not healthy to build that stuff up within you.
And I want to give a special shout out to my dog Django. Django, man, you've been there for me in the rough times, man. I appreciate you. Give it up for Django, man. My dog. So worst case scenario, talk to your dog. Other things I like to do, like, I can only give my stuff. Meditate. I love to meditate. I love to go to the gym, like I said. I love to read. Like, I don't like to read self-help books, because sometimes it'll take you in a place. But sometimes just watching a movie, just literally watch a movie, it'll take you out of your own reality. And if you have to, like said, if it gets to that point, go to the liquor store, get you one drink that's gonna put you on your ass, drink it, and then be done with it. Don't make it an everyday thing, because that can make that's a slippery slope. You could go down that slope even worse. And now, depending on where y'all at, weed could be legal. In Jersey, weed is legal. So if that's what you want to do that, and you'll get great sleep, man. You smoke weed, you get great sleep, man. It's a beautiful thing. I'm like, you know what? I'm not even gonna say that on this live, but weed helps you get good sleep.
Yeah, it's a million ways. You know, one thing I really like to, because I meditate, I work out, I'll go, like, walks help me a lot. I don't know what it is about, like, being outside, but like walking and any like fresh air helps me a lot. But writing helps me too. Like, remember back in the day when they'll tell you, like, oh, just write in your journal. Yes, honey, I still write in my journal. If it hurts that bad and it's bothering me that bad, yeah, I'll write it down.
Another thing that my therapist told me when I was going, like, being out in nature it's calming. Even if you just go sit on the bench doing a whole lot. Listen, you ever heard of this thing called grounding? Anybody out there, if y'all heard of grounding, holla at me. So you heard of grounding?
Listen, that's the one thing I'm not gonna lie, I kind of regret about moving back to the city, because now it's like I don't want to be outside on no sidewalk with no shoes on.
Yeah, what the hell she doing? Move, get your ass off the sidewalk.
Yeah, but no, definitely, like, grounding. I literally used to do that a lot. I would go outside, take my shoes off, just walk in the grass, just sit in the grass, just like, be like a hippie, man. Be a hippie.
Right. And it's a beautiful, like, I don't do it a lot, because I'm like, my yard, I got snakes, I got groundhog, I got all types of shit.
Oh, no.
So I might not do it in my yard, but my front yard, I'll do it. But people be walking by, man, when you walk by people's house, don't drop a load. Don't have your dog drop a load on the grass, man. That's just another thing for another day. But that's enough about us. What y'all think out there? What do y'all think? What works for y'all, mental health wise? And what is another topic you may want us to cover while we talking about mental health? Because, a lot of this is a safe space, it's an open space. If you want to get something off your chest, I can read the comment. If you comment and nobody else will, it'll probably be seen on social media. So if you want to send a private chat, we could do that. But if not, just put it in the chat box, or put it in the comments and say, what you think and how you get through hard times, or ask the question on how can I get through a hard time, because we gave what we got, but it's many more ways to potentially get through a hard time. And thank you for sharing, Lex. Yeah, Lex, you was vulnerable there, man. We learned so much about you.
Just a little bit. I'm trying.
Oh, you ain't trying. You're doing. There's a big difference. You are doing. Listen, give it up for her, y'all. She doing right. Yeah, that's right. Put another heart up there. Put another heart up there. She doing.
Yeah, put some more. I need them.
Keep them coming. Right. So, all right, Lex. What do you think? I have a topic in mind. I want to be our next topic, because it's kind of tied in to mental health. But all right, so boom. I'm just gonna throw it out there, and I'm gonna let you go while I type some stuff on this thing. So, a lot is been said about this subject, and it has changed dramatically over the years. And I just think it's something that's important that a lot of people don't talk about. And I mean, it's talked about, but it's not discussed in the way we hopefully going to discuss it tonight. And that is, I'm going to pop up on the screen right about now, parenting. Right? Like, so I'm going to be transparent right now. I'm in my late 40s. My birthday is at the end of this month. I mean, and the way I grew up, it was my parents supported me financially. And, if I was like fucked up in the moment, they'd be right there. Like, hey, man, get up, man. The old school stuff. I grew up in the 80s and the 90s, bro. So it was a tougher time, and I didn't get a chance to really feel. And going to therapy, I realized, like, my therapist told me, Tyrone, you don't feel, you push away feelings. And in my 40s, I'm starting to understand that, but it made me a better parent to my children and me going through that journey. So I wanted to share that with everybody. But Lex, give your piece, and then we'll have it back and forth on parenting. And anybody that wants to share, please throw it in the comments.
I'll say this. This is the part of parenting that no one likes to really talk about. How you parent is really on your perception of your parents. Right? Because let's be real here, it ain't no book on parenting. So the only examples we get of what a good parent is or what a bad parent is what our parents did, right? And then based off of that, that's just what we do. So if we think it's certain aspects of our parents that weren't good, then we try to do the opposite, right? We try to, oh, well, I didn't like that part of that, so I'm going to do the opposite. Or if there's a good part that your parent did, like maybe your parent did have good communication, then you'll be like, okay, I want that with my parent, but with my child. But I'll be real with you, even though we're in a different age bracket, my parenting was the same way. Mine was the same exact way. I'm about to be 30 in 2 weeks, y'all. Don't even remind me.
Oh, that's right. Our birthdays right around each other.
Oh, yeah,
I forgot. Give it up for us. You said 2 weeks, not 2 weeks, but yeah, go ahead. Sorry to cut you off.
But so I'm about to be 30, but my mom is 66, right? And just to give y'all a little background, if y'all don't know, my mom is 66, but on top of that, my mom was raised by her father. So tough is not the word. Okay? Tough is not the word. When I say I was really one of those kids that you can't communicate, you can't say what you want to say, because if you say what you want to say, you're talking back.
Right.
It's who you're talking to. So basically you're unseen and you're unheard. You just do what you are told, and that's it, right?
That's right.
And I'm not gonna lie, even now as an adult, that bothers me within my personal relationships, but also with my child. Because
it's different.
Like, it is. It's really different, because now it's like I have to figure out how to do this with my child when I don't know how.
Right. It wasn't a role model for you. You ain't see it. Right. And more than just you and your parent, like, I'll ask you this. Did you see it in anybody's parents that you grew up with? Like other than TV and movies, like somebody in your life that you seen?
So that's another thing, right? On top of the fact that my mother wasn't a really communicative person, or like I wasn't able to do that, and she was really tough. On top of that, I was a really isolated child on top of that, right? So I was that child to where I really, like, I had siblings, but I was never raised around them. I had friends here and there, but we always moved so much. I was never really around. Like, I'm so used to being by myself.
Right.
I'm that one person that, like I said, I will cut everybody off. I won't talk to anybody, and guess what? It won't bother me, because that's what I'm used to. I'm used to being alone, and I'm used to not communicating.
Right.
So
it's dog. And when it's that, it's like I'm similar in a way, but not really, because I've always had, like, wherever I was at, I made friends easy. I'm the kid that go to the beach, and I would have 10 friends by the time in 20 minutes. Like, that's my friend. I don't even know the dude's name. That's just who I am. When you meet me, I'm just, man, I'm the same energy since I was a kid. But when I get home, it just be me. And then, back in my day, I sound mad old. Back in my day, but real talk, back in my day, there wasn't no phones. There wasn't no online video games that you could play, and you be talking to people and all that. Like, it just was, when you was home, that was it. Maybe you could use the phone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we had one phone in the house. It wasn't no multiple lines. So my sister got a line when she got older. Then when she moved out, I got the line. But I was like 18 by then. But I didn't. So if I was home, I play video games. Dog, that's when I started lifting weights. I would go to the basement, lift weights, because, dog, I was on. I feel like I probably was ADHD because I was always moving around, but I don't know. I never was diagnosed with it. So even to this day, I ain't diagnosed with it. So I don't know if that's true. But I was good by myself, and I'm still good by myself. Like, I don't really need to be around people to feel I'll find something to occupy my time comfortably. But now it feels like there's a generation of kids that they always have something, whether, like, even the internet. Dog, if you're on the internet, you have access to hundreds of people at any time. They could reach out. You could reach out to them. Like, that's not something my generation had. Did you have that in your generation? Because
so my generation was kind of like half and half. It's like half and half. Like like all the way, I think, from like middle school, I didn't have none of that. From middle school down, it's like you had to go outside, you had to go find somebody. And then, like I said, my mother's an older parent, so my mother wasn't having that about having no phone when phones first came out, even though they were out, right? Even though they were out when I was younger. I ain't had no pager, beeper, I ain't had no cell phones. I got my first cell phone when I was in high school.
Right.
So even
and you're only 30.
That right, and I'm only 30. So even in that aspect, like I don't know, but I think I think it's a good and a bad thing for these kids growing up, because it's a good thing because they do have that social interaction to where, you know, if it comes down to it, they don't feel like they have to be alone, but at the same time it's bad because it's a distraction from themselves, right? I think that's a big part of why our generation, we really have certain morals, we have certain beliefs, we know certain things about ourselves, because we ain't had no choice. You gotta go sit by yourself at some point. You gotta figure out what you like at some point. But with this generation, it's like they can't. It's harder for them to just distract themselves or just like what other people like or not know what they like, because I got so many distractions. I got Instagram, I got Facebook, I got Xbox. I can go outside on top of that. I don't know.
Right. And so the flip side of that, I think, is they have access to so much more than we have access to. You know what I mean? Because I'm somebody, I didn't have access to much, but dog, I'm a grinder. I'm like, yo, I wouldn't say I'm a hustler. I'm a go-getter. I'm like, if I see something I want, I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna figure out a way to make it happen. I'm gonna keep pushing. And that's just I've been like that since I was a kid. But for this generation, it's probably like, I think I tell my kids, it's probably easy for y'all, because anything you really want to do, you can like literally do. Like you can say, I want to be an NBA coach. And you can literally go online and find a job posting to be an NBA coach. Like, not saying you'll get the job, but it's that opens your mind to the possibilities.
But that leads me to a question though, right? Because it's kind of a bittersweet thing, because I kind of compare it to like a person that has a whole bunch of money, right? A person that has a whole bunch of money, you can go get whatever you want. Doesn't that make it kind of like less fun? Because it's like it's so much access. I can literally do whatever I want. That like it's kind of like I don't gotta do it because it's always gonna be there. I know I can. I know I can have it. I know I can do it. I can figure it out. Whatever. It's not like I have to go get it because it's here.
You have access to it all the time, so you don't. It's no hunger to go get it.
Yeah,
that's valid. Like that's the flip side to it. Because I'm like I'm somebody where if my kids want to do something, well, what you want to do? Like they be afraid to tell me stuff. What you want to do? You want to do that? All right, look, just the game plan. Boom, 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 boom. And they be, all right, nah, Pop, chill. Like, nah, dog, you said you want to do it. Like, dog, because I want to give them all the opportunities that I didn't necessarily have. And I don't want to do it for them, but I want to show them how to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I really want to especially when they were younger. Now my son 22, my daughter 19, about to turn 20. So I don't feel like I have to do that as much. But back in the day, it would. You say you want to do this? All right, look, this is the game plan. This is how you gonna do it, and there's a step by step to get to it, right? And my son, all over, loved it. Like, oh yeah, and it worked for him. Like he's doing very well for him. He just graduated, got 2 jobs, and I'm not gonna say where, but put it this way: he works for a college coaching, and he works for a major league team coaching. Literally, no lie, like scout time. But he took to it. And he really loved it. Now, my daughter, she was kind of like, man, I can't tell this dude nothing. I'm just trying to chill. He trying to make me do this, that, and this. And you know what I'm saying? So it was the different kids. It was different results. But like, I don't know if it's bad or good, really. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of in the middle. And I feel like that's what parenting is. You know what I mean? You try to give them as many options as possible. But it's hard each kid is different. you're different, and each kid gets different as they get older. So, and you change as you get older. So your relationship is constantly evolving, and that's not something people really discuss.
At all. People don't discuss, like, I always have this quote that it's the little things in life that I wish people told me because it matters the most.
Right. Absolutely. I agree with that.
Smallest things in life that matter to most. If somebody if somebody would have told me parenting is they always told me parenting was hard, but nobody really dig down in those details and told me why parenting was hard. And you know why it's hard? Because of what you just said. You have your personality, you have your child's personality, you got everybody's personality in the world that has to interact with your child on top of that. It's so many different aspects that makes parenting hard, and nobody talks about this. How are we supposed to navigate this?
That's right. And that's the complex piece of it. And then we're evolving on top of it, right? So ideally, everybody on earth, you should be evolving. I hope you are. If you're watching, I hope you evolve into whatever it is you want to be. You know what I mean? I support it wholeheartedly. I'm that dude. I'm the cornball dude that really feel like, nah, if you want to do that, I want you to do it. As long as it ain't hurt nobody, real talk. I'm not beat off nothing. I'm like, hey man, life happens. I'm not holding no grudges. Life is beautiful. I say firmly, I don't have no enemies. And I said, look, and if I got an enemy out there watching right now, put something in the comments. Let me know you're an enemy, because you're not my enemy. We can piece it up right now. I ain't got no problems, bro. But as a parent, us evolving and our kids evolving, you're gonna evolve at different paces, right? You may get to a certain point, you be there for 2-3 years. Then your child, they evolving every day, right? They're literally, especially when they get to teenage years, they're constantly evolving. Then when they get to their adult years, some of them gonna evolve early. You may have an 18-year-old that's moving like a 25-year-old. Then you may have an 18-year-old that's moving like a 10-year-old. Depends on their upbringing and the environment and the relationship with the parent. It's so much that goes into it, but so all different ends of the spectrum, but I want you to give your 2 cents on how to ensure because as a parent, you're never going to feel like you're doing enough. If you're a good parent, you're always going to question, is this the right move? Is this the wrong move? But how do you sleep at night? What's the thing that, it may not be going exactly the way I want, but how do you sleep at night knowing you feel like you did the best you could do?
You know what it is? My number one thing, and this is really hard, but whatever doubts or fears that you have in your head about being a parent, talk to yourself about those fears, right? Talk to yourself about those fears, and then kind of debunk them. That's what I do, right? So whenever there's something that I'm going through with my daughter, let's just say, I feel like she's not getting enough social interaction because, my child is the only child. She don't really be around kids like that. So it's like, dang, my daughter. So I struggle with this thing of my daughter. I know my daughter's smart. I know she's smart because she knows the ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, write her name. She knows all that academic stuff. That's no problem. She knows, she has manners. She knows how to, she's inquisitive. She questions things. But when it comes to the social part of life, my daughter lacks in that part because she's not allowed around the kids. She doesn't have siblings. She doesn't have cousins. So I'm always in the state of, oh my gosh, what if I raise this kid that's she's this nerdy, brilliant kid, but she's this awkward social kid because she doesn't know how to talk to people, or people aren't going to like her, or that weird thing. And I always have to say, okay, and this is what I just tell myself. I say, well, how do you know that? Right? How do you know that? You're thinking these negative things, Alexis.
Right.
You don't know how she's really going to turn out.
You're projecting that.
Yeah. It's still early. It's still early in the game.
That's right.
Don't know. At any point, she could turn into class clown. You never know.
And then you be mad.
Right. So I think that's the biggest thing. Just telling yourself, man, you're tripping, you're lying. all these things that you're thinking that are your fears, is really no such thing most of the time. And even if it is, like, even in the areas where I do fail sometimes, and I'm like, yeah, she just hit that little boy upside the head. She probably gonna become a bully and nobody's gonna like her. Even on days like that, I'm like, you know what? Even though I don't like it, these are certain things that my child has to go through to learn in order for her to become who she has to be too.
That's right.
And I think that's a big part of parenting that we struggle with the most, is that we try to save them from everything, right? We try to save them, like, oh, I don't want them to do this. I don't want them to learn from their mistakes. I don't want them to do what I did. But the truth is, a lot of the messed up stuff we did, we learned from it. And, it taught us something good. It either taught us how to do things the right way, or it gave us good characteristics that we have now. So even in those moments where you feel as though you're not doing right or your child has done wrong, it's for the greater good, even though you just can't see it. So that's how I sleep at night.
Right. Comfortably. That's fair. I love that. That's a good perspective to have at this place you are. Because, you know, your daughter's young. Like, you still got what, 14 years of her being. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I messed up. I'm sorry. You gave me the look. I'm sorry, man. I ain't no harm. It's gonna be a beautiful journey. The journey's gonna be beautiful.
I be trying to get it out early, okay? Because, you know, just being a parent, it's like you have to be aware. You have to be aware that, you know, disappointments are gonna happen. You know, failures are gonna happen. You know, all of these things are a possibility, but it's really how are you going to react to them that matters the most. Not only to you, but to your child. It's really the reactions, whatever, because however you react, that's how your child is going to think and how they're going to think they have to react, right? So if you're the parent that every time your child does something wrong, that's horrible. Now they're gonna have that fear in their head of, I can't tell somebody when I do something wrong because this is the reaction I get. Right?
That's right.
So it's like you have to be highly aware of how you react to your children in certain situations. So I just try to put myself in that mindset of, you know, how can I show her that all the things that I know is a positive reaction of being a parent, but also being a child, because it's rough. Because honestly, one of my biggest fears is raising a child that has some type of trauma from me.
Word, hey,
that's one of my biggest fears. Like,
you said that's a bar right there. As the young people say, that's a bar.
Man, it's not my child being a failure from their own mistakes or, you know, doing their own thing. I don't want my child to be a failure because of something that I put on them or something that I taught them. That's one of the worst things ever. I don't want that.
That's right. So, like, what you said that was a bar right there, like, literally. And I'm gonna flip that question back to myself. Like, what makes me sleep at night? And my kids are a lot older, so my experience is a lot different. I'm gonna go back to an experience that I had with my daughter. My daughter was probably about 15, and this is like, you know, at the time I was motivational speaking. I was going to schools. I was really doing it. That was the only thing I did. That was my job. Like, I would literally go to different schools, do life skills curriculums, do courses and stuff like that, and then still go do motivational speeches at the schools in the meantime. So, you know, I was heavy on, you can do anything you want. You know, I was that guy. And my daughter, I'm talking to her, and I would hit her with the same stuff. Because, you know, I'm going a lot of these places, I'll be there for, let's say, 10 weeks. And if I'm there 10 weeks, you know, I'm seeing them for an hour a week. We talking, we doing whatever, and I would build them up during that time. But my daughter, she's here with me every day. So she sees the highs, the lows. She sees me just come in, man, I'm exhausted. Them little mother, you know what I'm saying? She sees everything. So one time I'm giving her one of the talks. I would not necessarily the same talk, but telling her something like one of them things where I'm like, you gotta be positive, you gotta see the silver lining, got do this, that, and the third. And then at the same time, I was telling her, like, yo, anything you say, anything you feel, you could tell me. You know what I mean? Because I was big on that since they was little. I let my kids curse when they was like 9, 10 years old because I wanted them to feel comfortable telling me anything. And I don't know if that's not for everybody, but a tip you could take, like, yo, I would literally let them curse. Like, yo, in my mind, if they could curse around me, they could tell me when something really wrong. You know what I'm saying? So from 10 on, I'll say for her about 8, say whatever you want. I'm never going to wow out. I'm never going, it's just whatever. I want you to be able to, this communication got to be great. So she says, Pop, that's what she called me, Pop. She's like, Pop, man, I'm going to tell you something, you ain't going to like it. Now I was just, all right, whatever. She said, I think sometimes you be toxic positivity. I was like, motherfucker, you know this toxic positivity paying our bills, girl? What are you talking about? She said, she told me. Now, this was, if she 19 by turn 20, this is about 5 years ago. And at the time, I was coaching at her school. I wasn't working there, but I was coaching at her school because I did a bunch of stuff, but we ain't getting into that. So I was coaching at her school, so I would always ride home with her. She'd be in the car, we'd be talking, and she said, you toxic positivity. I said, and I ain't gonna lie, shit stung like a mother. What the fuck you mean? I was a little offended, but I didn't let her know because let me give that tip too. When you let your kids tell you whatever, they're gonna tell you some shit. But leave the door open. As soon as you react in a fucked up way, it's gonna shut it down. They're not gonna hear you no more. You know what I mean? So you got to be able to hear, Pop, you full of shit. Pop, you this. Like whatever it might be, like your breath stink, you're gonna hear it all. And it's a muscle you gotta train and you gotta embrace it. So you gotta kind of just be like, yes, come on, tell me more. Tell me more.
Yes, yes, that reaction means everything. Yeah.
Like you said it. You literally said it. The reaction is everything. So when she said it, I was like, all right, I wanted to hear more. I said, tell me more. Tell me why you feel like that. And then she broke down to me like, you say all this positive stuff and it's good, but I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember exactly what she said. But essentially she said, like, life ain't like that. Sometimes I just want to be sad because something bad happened and I'm sad. 15-year-old daughter, and I'm just like, damn, some real shit. Like, so say for instance, something happened and a lot of things are small, and I would always hit it with that. And then tragedies, of course, I'm gonna be a lot more. Oh no, it's all right. Give her hugs. I've done all that stuff too, but the daily, every day, I would always hit her with something to fix the situation, and that's not effective. So the point I was getting in saying that is listen to your damn kids. First off, you got to create that space where they can tell you anything. But then when they start telling you shit, you got to listen. Because, dog, it's like the relationship between your kids and you I feel like it's the most one of the most special relationships you can have. Because, I'm married and I love it. But me and my partner chose each other. My kids ain't choose me. I mean, that was a love before they got here. And I hope y'all feel that out there. But they're going to tell you truth. I mean, and your partner, sometimes your partner going to tell you stuff that makes it good for them. You know what I mean? Like your kids, only thing they're going to tell you is stuff that's good for your relationship when you really breaking it down. Of course, young kids, they're going to try to hustle you. They're going to try to manipulate you. They're going to try to get whatever they need out of you. But you know what I'm saying? That's kid stuff. You know what I'm saying? But as they get older, they're going to tell you things that, you know what I'm saying, is going to help your relationship. They're going to give you everything you had, everything in them to make that relationship work. All you got to do is listen and be open to change and growth. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, any young parents, anybody that got kids that's like your kids' age or older, like 4 and up, like, dog, listen, create a space where your kids can tell you anything and listen to them. And then once you have that space, talk to them. Like, they're going to tell you everything. Like, yeah,
it's true, but you know what? That's the biggest thing you said, is that you have to be willing to grow and change, right? And here's when these relationships between parents and children get hard, or even vice versa. It gets hard because sometimes people be stuck in their ways. They don't want to change, right? And at that point, you just got to decide how you're going to deal with it. Because it's funny you said that about your daughter, because I think I did it. I think I got the courage when I was like a little bit older, though. I ain't had the courage back then. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have the courage back then, because I told y'all how my mom was. I didn't have the courage. I think I waited until I was maybe like 20 And like I literally, like I was fed up. Like I was depressed. I was going through a lot of stuff. I felt like I was alone, and I was like, you know what? I'm tired of like feeling this way. Like I was like, man, forget this. Like I'm tired of feeling this way. So I literally walked in her room, and I said, Ma, I need to know, why is it that I feel like you don't love me or you don't care about me?
Oh man, damn. Now what did he say?
Man, listen, and you know, she was, I don't know why, but she was open at the time, and she was like, well, why do you feel like that? And I broke it down. I'm like, well, you know, growing up, you never really said you love me like that. We don't give each other physical affection. You're always just, you know, you're always tough on me. You're always telling me what to do, how to do it. I've never really had that nurturing or loving side. So that makes me feel like, shit, you don't care about me. You don't love me. You know nothing. And you know, I'm a Cancer, baby. I'm a sensitive little thing. I need that love. Right. So, you know, that was really hard on me. But here's the beautiful part about it. She was able to really sit me down and say, you know what? I apologize for that, but the reason I do that is because unfortunately I don't know any other way. I was raised like that myself, you know? And then from that point, I swear, like my mom was like, oh, wide open. And like that's why now I try not to judge people so much, or I try to have a lot of empathy, because I realize that, you know, a lot of times when we're upset, when people are treating us a certain way, it's only because they're just reacting off of what they know or what they're used to. And it's not their fault, right? So I had to, you know, forgive her for putting me in that situation, because she's just acting off of the same thing that I have a problem with that she just wasn't able to fix, right? So I just have to be grateful that I was able to take that step to try to fix our relationship when she didn't have that. You know, she didn't have that between her and her parents. So.
Right. And like last piece on parenting, like, so my dad, I told you, well, I don't know if y'all was here the whole time, but my dad passed away a couple years ago. And, you know, our relationship was good. I mean, generally speaking, like, put it this way, when I was young, I never had a problem with it. As I got older, I realized there's a lot of things that was missing. You know what I mean? I never had the sex talk with my dad. Never had, like, you know, you start watching TV and shit, then you have your own kids, and you start to replay things in your mind, like, damn, he never really helped me with that. He never did this. Like, so, you know, at mid-20s, that's where I was at. You know what I mean? Then I grew a little bit. And then when my dad, you know, he's, you know, essentially passing away at ALS, we got to having real heart-to-heart conversations. And he would I would ask him things. He was an open book, but he never had a chance to really have these conversations with his dad like I had with him. So after he passed, you know, I'm going to therapy and all that. And my therapist says, like, what sealed it all up for me was he did the best he could do with who he was. Powerful shit. Blew my mind.
I'm telling you, same thing.
And that's essentially what you're saying, right? You gave her your mom the space to say, look, she was who she was in that time. She did the best she could with who she was at the time. And I think as parents, we all got to have that conversation with our kids, because I've had it with mine already. I said, look, you know what I mean? I asked them, because, you know, I'm a lot more in tune with things than, you know, my parents was, because of the time. It wasn't like people, I don't know about black people. People in general didn't go to therapy very much back in the day, in the 70s and 80s. They was too high and drunk and doing all types of other shit.
I can be the one to attest, honey. My white side is just as bad as my black. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like, but 70s and 80s, that's the time period, right? You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't something that people went through, but now we know better, so we should all do better. But in dealing with your kids, you know, give them space to be themselves, and don't lead them. Y'all lead together. It's like a partnership. You know what I mean? It's their life. You got to give them space to lead. You got to, like, when they got a little older, I started getting in a position to really say, like, yo, I want you to handle certain things. Like, last piece before we check out, because we had 59 minutes. My son played baseball, played in college. He's continuing that. I'm very proud of him. But when he was in, like, I would always deal with his coach in middle school. Like, hey, man, coach say some shit. Let me go. I'll come over here and tell this motherfucker. Da, da, da. And then as he got older, he got to high school, I said, look, you got to talk to the coach yourself. You trying to go to college and play baseball, you can't have your dad coming up there talking to the coach. So freshman year, I'm like, bro, you go, shit ain't right. You go talk to him. And it built each year. Like, hey, freshman year, he did it, but he ain't one comfortable. Sophomore year, did it. By senior year, he was good with it. Then he gets to college, and he's comfortable in handling himself without me being there. And that's essentially what we want for all our kids. You know what I mean? Like, encourage them to grow and handle things on their own. Because, Bree, you said it. Like, I forget exactly how you said it. I'm paraphrasing. But it's like they have to live their life, and they have to be able to make choices. And you have to give them the space to do that. Right? Yeah, yo, we had an hour, yo. So, yo, thank y'all for rocking with us, man. We had viewers the whole time, too, man.
Man,
it was beautiful.
It was. It really was, man. But I'll say this, and I'm gonna have nothing else to say. I think with both topics, I think the biggest thing that we can really take from it is that love and understanding just goes a long way. Love and understanding goes a long way. From mental health to parenting. Long as you have that love to really accept people for who they are and to listen and to understand and to care about them and parenting and in mental health, man, the places will go.
Right. So, man, in closing, man, live with empathy out there. You know what I mean? Show love to your fellow man. Thank y'all for rocking with us. We're gonna be back next Friday, 7:00. And matter of fact, what time is it? It's 8:00. Yo, you could go. Matter of fact, I'm gonna shout out my show now. You go to cnjn.org. You can watch the early evening show, which is my regular television show. It's not live, but you could go to cnjn.org, hit the streaming button, and it's streaming right now, 8 to 8:30. And ironically, it is an interview with my daughter interviewing me. Dead ass. Even playing this. That's crazy. It's supposed to be what it is, but first episode, she interviewed me for a whole half hour. It was dope. So if y'all want to jump off of this, jump onto that, great. Lex, tell them where they can find you at.
Y'all know y'all can find me on Instagram. It's LexisBree _. Okay, yep. So anytime you feel like you need that lending ear, because maybe you don't want to go to a therapist, I'm here for you. All right, I'm here. All ears, all comfortable. So.
Word. And then you can find me on Instagram. Matter of fact, any social media network, The Tyrone Miller. And I'm dropping it now. Y'all the first people that know. I'm going to start going live every day in the morning, probably like 10 in the morning. Start y'all days off, half hour. Lex, you're always welcome to come on. Let me know if you down, because I'm going to be rocking out. I got a new schedule. So I'm going to be going live every day, Monday through Thursday. Then Friday, I'm going to rock out with Lex. And that's that. See y'all next week. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. And be good to people. Life, love, peace, all that. We'll give you your last little sign off, Lex.
Bye, y'all. Thank you.
Take it. Bye, y'all. That's a good one.